Hey guys, John Campea here. Thanks for visiting my movie vlog. And despite all the back and forth and some of the really crazy comments that Daniel Craig made, it looks like Daniel Craig will be back for the next installment of James Bond. Now, the next installment will of course mark Daniel Craig's 5th appearance as James Bond. He of course appeared in Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and most recently in Spectre. Now, there have been some doubts about whether Daniel Craig would actually come back to play James Bond again. As many of you will remember, after the shooting of Spectre and during the promotional tour, Daniel Craig made some pretty weird comments saying things like, "I'd rather slit my wrists than come back and play James Bond again." Now, a little bit later, he clarified those comments, just saying like, the idea of it right now, because I just finished such a painful, tumultuous, fun, but exhausting shoot on the last James Bond movie, which led some people to believe that maybe he'll come back. But nevertheless, comments like those sparked a lot of conversation over the last year or two about who could be the next Bond. Names like Idris Elba, Tom Hiddleston, and many others came up in a lot of conversations. But it looks like for at least one more film, Daniel Craig will be the guy. They're saying they might start shooting this movie next year for a 2019 release date. Now, from my perspective, this is terrific news. I've said this a lot, and I still believe that Daniel Craig is my favorite James Bond we've ever had. I mean, I've said this before, but it takes the classic elements of the badass Sean Connery James Bond with the super suave Roger Moore James Bond and kind of meshes them together. It feels like Daniel Craig has always been the hybrid of those two classic James Bond archetypes, and it's really worked for me, and I'm glad he's come back for at least one more. I probably think this one will be his final one. 5 films seems like a good round number. Hopefully he crushes this one like they did with Skyfall, and then we can start talking about who the next James Bond will be again. It's also interesting to note that in the UK news outlet The Mirror, they're also saying that the producers have not only reached an agreement with Daniel Craig, but they're also heavily circling Adele to do the soundtrack again, or at least to do the new theme song. Of course, Adele won an Academy Award for doing the theme song to Skyfall, and they would really like her to come back for this one. Anyway, that'll do it for me, guys. What do you think about Daniel Craig returning for the next James Bond film? Jump into the comment section below and leave me your thoughts. So that'll do it for me. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not following me on social media, you can easily follow me on Facebook and on Twitter, simply @John Campea. Thanks a lot for joining me, and until next time, bye-bye.